The sky over Daelun turned black, not from clouds but from ships. Huge, dark ships of the Grax horde blocked the sun. They moved without sound, like shadows, ready to kill. Daelun was a peaceful world. Its people, the Renari, had never seen war. Their cities floated above lakes. Their homes were made of crystal and soft light. They believed in peace, in learning, in stars. But peace could not stop the Grax. The first attack came at dawn. Without warning, beams of red fire rained down from the sky. Towers exploded, bridges cracked, the floating cities fell. The Renari had no armies, only a few old defense systems meant to stop meteors, not monsters. In less than 1 hour, 3 cities were gone. The royal city, Nivara, was next. Elder Seren, leader of the Renari Council, stood in the tower watching the sky burn. His hands shook as he whispered, "Why are they doing this? We are no threat." A young Renari named Lura, a tech student, ran to him. "Elder, we've lost contact with the southern cities. The signal lines are broken. The defense beacons are offline." Seren closed his eyes. "Send the last message. Use the ancient code." Lura froze. "But that's Earth code. Humans left the galaxy long ago. They won't hear us." Seren looked into the fire-filled sky. "Then we die in silence. Send it anyway." Lura nodded and ran to the core chamber. Far above Daelun, inside the lead Grax ship, Commander Vrak laughed. His armor dripped with oil and blood. His soldiers covered in bone and steel roared in victory. "This world is weak," Vrak growled. "Like the others, break their towers, burn their sky. We take it all." A Grax soldier hissed. "One city still stands. The high tower. Sending signals." Vrak snarled. "Destroy it. No survivors. No hope." In the Renari high tower, Lura finished the message. She pressed the crystal key. A soft beep sounded. The beacon blinked. Once. Then again. And the message shot into space. "To any human listening, we are falling. The Renari people cry for help. If Earth still lives, please, answer." The last beacon of Daelun sent its cry into the cold, empty stars. For a moment, all was quiet. Then, light. Not on Daelun, but far, far away. In a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a human relay station, Earth Node 7, came online. Its systems had been sleeping for 200 years, but this signal was old, and it was human-coded. The station's core AI activated. A voice inside whispered, "Emergency protocol, Renari distress code, match confirmed." The AI sent a burst signal across hidden channels. Deep in a dead solar system, a black cube received the message. Inside that cube, a human warship woke up. Its engines glowed. Its systems hummed, and it sent one word back. Received. Back on Daelun, it was too late. The tower was burning. Grax ships fired again and again. Elder Seren was gone. Lura escaped through a tunnel, tears in her eyes. She didn't know if her message had worked. She didn't even know if humans still existed. All she knew was this: Daelun was falling, and no one was coming. Or so she thought. In the cold of space, 200 light-years away, a fleet of black ships changed direction. They carried no flags, no diplomats, only warriors. Earth's forgotten soldiers were returning, and they were not coming to talk. The stars were silent. For over 200 years, Earth Node 7 had been asleep. No signal, no orders. Just silence. But now something had changed. Inside the ancient machine, lights began to glow. Gears moved. The AI woke. Its name was Hiron, Human Yield Response Observation Network. It had one job: watch for distress, respond if needed. A soft, female voice echoed through the control room. Renari emergency signal detected. Location Daelun sector. Threat Grax horde. Protocol Alpha Black. The AI paused for 0.02 seconds, faster than a heartbeat. Then it spoke just one word: awaken. Deep beneath the surface of a cold, dead moon, something stirred. A black cube opened like a flower. Inside was a ship, a warship from Earth's forgotten age. Its name, EHS Revenant. Its hull was black as space, its weapons still sharp, and its crew, long gone. But it didn't need a crew. The Revenant was built for one thing: war. The moment it received the signal, it charged its core. Engines hummed. Plasma coils spun. AI units booted up. Its combat sub-AI Shade protocol took over. Shade's first words were cold. Target locked. Threat confirmed. Course Delun. Launch in 60 seconds. Earth's Ghost Fleet had been waiting, and now, it moved. Back on Daelun, the world was ending. Lura, the young Renari who sent the message, hid in a small mountain cave with 2 children and an injured elder. Smoke covered the sky. The ground shook with explosions. One of the children whispered, "Will they come?" Lura didn't know what to say. She looked up at the sky, now red with fire. She whispered, "I don't think humans even exist anymore." The child asked, "Then who did we call?" Lura said nothing. She didn't want to give them false hope. Across the galaxy, the Revenant left warp. Its black form came out of hyperspace like a knife through glass. Grax ships didn't notice it at first, but when they did, it was too late. In 1 second, the Revenant fired a neutron blast straight through the lead Grax cruiser. It exploded like a star, then another, and another. Grax commanders screamed, "What is that thing?" One of them shouted, "No life signs, no heat, it's not alive." Still, the black ship moved like it had eyes. It dodged. It fired. It destroyed. Then it stopped. It hovered above Daelun's sky and released a small, the pod fell like a stone. Fast, deadly. Lura heard it before she saw it. A loud screech in the sky. The wind shook. The clouds parted. Then something hit the ground just outside the cave, so hard the earth split. She ran out to sea. In front of her was a black object, steaming. It opened slowly. And from the pod stepped a human. His armor was scarred, painted, with red stripes. His helmet glowed blue. He looked at her but said nothing. Then he raised his arm and pointed toward the city. Lura whispered, "Are you here to help us?" The soldier nodded once, then turned and walked into the fire. In the Grax command ship, Commander Vrak Tharn watched the screen. He growled, "What are these things? Machines? Soldiers? Ghosts?" No one answered. Vrak slammed his clawed fist on the control board. Destroy them, find where they came from, but deep inside, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. Back on Daelun, the human soldier reached the battlefield. Grax warriors charged at him. He didn't stop. His armor deflected plasma shots. His fists broke bone. His rifle burned through steel. Within minutes 20 Grax were down. The other humans were arriving now, one pod at a time. No words, no speeches, only action. In the mountain cave, Lura saw something on the radio. A voice, broken, digital, came through. To the Renari people, "Help has arrived, hold your ground, Earth remembers." Her eyes filled with tears, they were real, they came. The ground shook, the sky tore open, and the humans kept falling. One by one, their black pods slammed into the surface of Daelun like meteors. Each hit came with thunder. Dust filled the air. The Grax army began to panic. Commander Vrak Tharn shouted, "What are they? Machines? Clones?" But none of his soldiers answered. They were too busy running, because the humans weren't just soldiers, they were weapons. Inside each pod stood one warrior wrapped in dark armor, their faces hidden, their voices silent, but their actions, pure destruction. They moved fast, clean, no wasted motion. Grax beasts were torn apart, plasma fire bounced off their shields. In less than 10 minutes, over 100 Grax fell, and not one human was down. From the mountain cave, Lura watched through a broken lens. "They're fighting like they've done this before," she whispered. "Elder, Milo, his arm in a sling, nodded. They have. Long ago, humans were known as the most dangerous fighters in the galaxy. That's why they left. The others feared them. But why did they come back? Lura asked. The elder looked at the sky. Because someone cried for help. And humans, they don't ignore cries. On the battlefield, one human stood taller than the rest. His armor was older, thicker, marked with deep scars. 3 red lines painted across his chest plate. His name, written only in old code, was Major Rain. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. When he raised his arm, every human around him moved. Together, they marched through the burning city. Inside the Grax command ship, Vrak watched his empire collapse. This was supposed to be easy, he shouted. These creatures were weak. His second-in-command replied, The humans, they are not weak. They are trained for war. They don't hesitate. Vrak growled. Then we bring out the warlord beast. The room went silent. No one has used it in centuries, another soldier said. Then we wake it, Vrak snapped. I want the humans broken. In the dark halls below the Grax ship, chains began to rattle. A giant beast, half flesh, half machine, opened its eyes. Red and burning. It had only one purpose, to kill anything in its path. The Grax called it Zor Ghul, and it was hungry. Back on Dailuan, the humans had secured the northern valley. Fires were out. Civilians were safe. The remaining Renari came out of hiding. Some were afraid. Others were amazed. But all of them knew one thing. Hope had returned. A child walked up to a human soldier and gave him a glowing leaf. The soldier took it, stared at it for a moment, then gently put it in his belt. No words. Just respect. But peace didn't last long. The ground began to rumble again. Lura looked to the east. From the clouds came something massive. A beast bigger than a city. Metal claws. Burning eyes. Sharp tusks. And on its back, Grax soldiers riding cheering. The humans stopped moving. Major Rain stepped forward, raising his rifle slowly. The others followed. They didn't run. They didn't fear, because this was what they were made for. Inside his helmet, Rain whispered, Send report to Earth Command. Engagement level Omega. Enemy class Titan operation status active. Then he pointed forward. The humans moved as one. From the cave, Lura saw it happen. The humans and ran toward the monster. No hesitation, no backup, just bravery. She placed her hand over her heart. For the first time since the war began, she smiled. The beast roared. Its voice echoed across the mountains of Dailuan like thunder tearing the sky. Birds fell from the clouds. Trees cracked in half. Even the Grax soldiers backed away. This was Zor Ghul, the warlord beast, a monster made for war, a machine built from bones and rage. And it was now heading straight for the last standing city of the Renari. From the hilltop, Major Rain stood without fear. He looked like a shadow made of steel. Behind him stood 20 other humans, quiet and still. They were Earth's last secret. The final warriors from the Ghost Division, soldiers trained for war that never came, soldiers who were never recalled when Earth withdrew, now awakened after 200 years of silence. Rain opened the comms. Unit Zeta 9, confirm visual on target. A calm voice replied, Visual confirmed. Target is hostile. 30 meters high. Biomechanical. Armor class heavy, weak points, legs, underbelly, eye cluster. Good, Rain said. Weapons live, ghosts move. And they vanished. To the watching Grax, the humans disappeared. No sound. No flash. Just gone. 1 second they were there. The next, they were inside the battlefield, moving faster than eyes could follow. They hit the beast's legs with explosive spears. They climbed its back, cutting into armored plates. Zor Ghul screamed, throwing fire and acid from its mouth, but the humans didn't stop. One by one, they hit the weak points. One by one, they brought the giant down, piece by piece, until finally, the beast collapsed. Inside the Grax command, Ship Commander Vrak slammed his fist into the console. He stared at the screen showing the dead warlord beast now lying in flames. "What are they made of?" he roared. His second-in-command whispered, "They're not made, Commander, they're awakened." From the past, Vrak bared his teeth. "Then we erase their past. Begin orbital strike. I want that world turned to ash." In the city ruins, Laura saw the humans return from battle. Some were injured, one limped. Another had a cracked visor, but none were afraid. She stepped forward and asked, "That monster, how did you beat it?" Rain removed his helmet. His face was pale and marked by old scars. His voice was quiet. "We've seen worse." Laura blinked. "Worse than that?" He nodded. "Earth's enemies were bigger and smarter, but they made one mistake. They pushed us." Suddenly, alarms went off in the human ship Revenant, which hovered silently above Delune. Its AI, Shade Protocol, spoke. Quickly, "Incoming orbital fire. Multiple warheads. Estimated time to impact 90 seconds. Rain turned to the sky. A red light blinked in the clouds. Then another. Then 10 more. He activated comms. "All units, Skyfire Protocol. Prepare defense grid, no civilian death. Not today." The humans ran to their pods. Inside each one, a new system came online. Sky Shield Network. Long black rods shot into the sky, forming a circle of protection. Thin, invisible energy walls hummed as they connected. When the first warhead hit, it exploded midair. The sky burned white, but Delune stood. Again and again, the Grax fired, and again, Earth's ghosts blocked it, until their weapons overheated, until their armor cracked. But they didn't fall. They didn't break, because they were trained to die standing. Laura stared at the sky, her eyes wide. The sky was glowing, not from fire, but from a shield of human power. A ghost army from a forgotten world was now her people's wall. Elder Malo whispered, "We are not alone anymore." And in the deepest shadows of the galaxy, Earth Command received the first full report in 200 years. One word repeated across the screen. "Human boots on." "Ground. Ghost Division active. Delune still stands." And Earth replied, "Send more." The stars over Delune were no longer silent. For the first time in centuries, Earth Command had returned to the galactic map, and someone was listening. In a dark system far away, inside a secret Earth relay station hidden inside a hollow asteroid, a man opened his eyes. He was not young. He had been asleep for a long time, frozen in cryo. His name was Admiral Garen Holt, the last living commander of Earth's forgotten war fleet. As the cryo chamber hissed open, alarms echoed through the asteroid walls. A voice spoke from above. "Admiral Holt, emergency protocol Vanguard Dawn activated. Human forces detected on Delune. Ghost Division has engaged." He sat up slowly, and then smiled. They finally woke up the ghosts. Back on Delune, Major Rain watched the sky. The orbital attacks had stopped, for now, but everyone knew the Grax would return. With more fire, more ships, more monsters. Rain stood in the ruins of an old Renari library turned into a command post. Laura entered, holding a glowing tablet. "Sir, you should see this," she said. Rain tapped the screen. A message blinked. "Long-range ping received. Earth Command is awake. Reinforcements are coming." Rain's voice was low. So they didn't forget us after all. In space, the Grax High Council gathered. Panic filled their voices. How did the humans return? They were supposed to be gone. But one voice cut through the noise. Vrak Tharn, the war commander. "They're not back," he growled. They never left. They waited. In silence. Like predators. He turned to the star map. "Now they've smelled blood. And they will come. Not just warriors. not just ships. Vrax stared at the red dot blinking on Dylan. They will come. With their wrath. Far above Daelun, the Earthship EHS Revenant received a new signal. This is Admiral Garen Holt. Confirm location, Ghost Division. Prepare for full strike fleet. Earth returns. Rain read the message. His expression didn't change, but his soldiers moved faster. Faster than before, because they all knew what it meant. Earth wasn't sending help. Earth was sending the rest of the army. On the ground, Lura helped patch wounded Renari. She worked beside human medics, calm, cold professionals who never stopped, never panicked. She looked at one of them and asked, "Why do you fight for people you don't even know?" The medic didn't look up. She simply said, "Because someone must." Then she paused and added, "We remember what it felt like to be left alone." That night, Renari civilians gathered in the ruins. Children sat near fire pits. Some laughed. Some asked the humans to show their strange tools. One even gave a soldier a carved stone bird. Major Rain walked among them, silent. Elder Milo approached him. "You are not what we expected," he said. Rain raised an eyebrow. "You do not speak much. You do not celebrate. You simply stand, guard." Rain replied, "Hope is fragile. We guard it until it's strong enough to fly." In the void between stars, Earth's forgotten fleet began to move. Dozens of massive ships powered up. Their hulls were covered in dust and age, but their weapons were clean, ready. Each ship carried hundreds of warriors, and one name marked them all: Project Remnant, a silent force, built in secret, abandoned after the peace treaties, never decommissioned, just forgotten, until now. On Dylan, Rain gathered his unit. He pointed to the north, where the Grax army was gathering once again. "This isn't over," he said, "but we are not alone anymore." Then he looked at the stars. "Tell the fleet, when they come, we hit back." The sky burned red. But this time it was not from Grax fire. It was Earth's fleet, falling from orbit like stars of war. Over 50 black ships broke through Daelin's atmosphere, silent and fast. Their hulls glowed from re-entry. Each one carried warriors, weapons, and hope. From the mountaintops, the Renari people watched in awe. A child pointed to the sky and whispered, "They came," and Elder Milo answered, "No, they returned." On the battlefield, Major Rain stood still. His helmet visor showed multiple landing coordinates, all synced with Earth's master fleet. "This is Revenant Unit," Rain spoke calmly. "Ground team ready. Orbital strike plan confirmed." A voice replied from above. "This is Admiral Holt. Operation Firelight begins now. Let's show the Grax what humans bring when they're angry." Deep in orbit, the flagship EHS Vengeance powered up its main cannon. The ship was a floating city of steel, buried with history and rage. One shot from its weapon could wipe out an entire Grax fortress, and that was exactly what it did. A beam of pure energy slammed into the eastern Grax front. The ground exploded. Mountains cracked. Half of the enemy army vanished in seconds. The rest? They ran. But it was too late. Earth's warriors were already among them. From dropships came hundreds of armored soldiers. New faces, new weapons, fresh strength. They hit the ground running, covering the Ghost Division, sweeping through Grax. Lines with cold precision. Rain met the first wave with a nod. "Welcome back," he said. A young captain grinned under his visor. "Took us long enough," Rain replied. "Just in time." The Grax command was in chaos. Commander Vrak Tharn shouted orders, but no one listened. "Our enemies are multiplying," his second-in-command cried. "The sky is falling." Vrak growled, smashing a screen. "Then we use the final core." Everyone froze. "No one has touched it in 1,000 years, one said. "Even we don't know what it does." Vrak's eyes glowed. "I don't care. If we burn, we take them with us." Meanwhile, Lura and the Renari helped lead civilians underground as the battle above raged. But Lura paused at the entrance of the shelter. She looked up. Humans were fighting with fire in their veins, but she saw something else too. A pattern. Rhythm. They fought like a song, each movement timed, connected, powerful. She realized something chilling. This was not the first time humanity had done this. They had done it before, to someone else, and they had won. Far above, Admiral Garen Holt stood on the bridge of the Vengeance. He looked at the burning horizon of Daelun. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He simply said, "Let this remind the galaxy, you don't poke a sleeping lion unless you're ready to bleed." On the ground, Rain's unit closed in on the last Grax bunker. Inside, Vrak activated a glowing device, the final core, a black orb pulsing with unstable energy. "This will end everything," Vrak shouted, "even if I must become ash with it." But before he could strike it, boom, the bunker wall exploded. Smoke, sparks, then a shadow stepped through. "Rain." He said nothing, just aimed. One shot. Vrak fell. The final core powered down. Silence. Outside, the last Grax ships retreated. The battle was over. Daelun had survived, because Earth had returned. The battlefield was quiet now. Smoke rose slowly from the ruins of Daelun's last stand. The stars above sparkled once more, not with fire, but with peace. Earth's fleet floated silently in orbit, watching like guardian spirits. The war was over, but something had changed forever. In the city square, the Renari gathered. Elder Milo stood on a broken platform, his voice soft but clear. Our skies were black. Our hearts were broken. The galaxy turned away from us. He paused and looked at the humans standing nearby. But when we were forgotten, they remembered. The crowd turned to the human soldiers, scarred, silent, strong. One of the children stepped forward and placed a small flower on Major Rain's armor. He didn't move, but he whispered something no one expected. "We were once forgotten too." Later that day, a special signal was sent across the galaxy, not from a king, not from a general, but from Lura, a Renari survivor, now a voice for two worlds. She stood before a camera, her message clear. "To all who hear this, Earth has returned. Not to conquer, not to claim, but to protect. We asked for help and they came, not as rulers, but as warriors, as family." The message spread like fire across the stars. Some were shocked, some were afraid. But everyone listened, because for the first time in 100 years, humanity had spoken. Back on the Earth Fleet's command ship, Admiral Garen Holt stood on the bridge. The stars reflected in his eyes. A younger officer approached. "Sir, what now?" Holt didn't answer right away. He walked to the edge of the observation deck, then said, "Now we remind the galaxy who we are. We are the ones who built peace. We are the ones who left, so others could live." And when the call came, he turned and stared at the officer. We came back. Major Rain stood alone in the ruins of Daelun's old war museum. He stared at a cracked statue, one built by the Renari long ago. It showed a tall figure holding a flame, a symbol of hope. Rain reached into his armor. He pulled out a small badge, his family crest. He placed it at the statue's base, not for glory, not for pride, but to leave behind something human, something that said, "We were here." Far across the galaxy, new powers took notice. Alien leaders who once mocked Earth now watched in silence. Old enemies shivered, old allies remembered, and somewhere in the dark corners of space, a whisper began to rise. The Deathworlders are back. The humans have returned, and they don't forget. In Daelun's rebuilt city square, a new monument stood, a simple black wall. No names, just one sentence carved deep into stone. "We are humanity. We fight when others fall. We rise when all hope is gone. We remember." And below that, smaller letters glowed.